Nah, don't show bachelor. They like indicator.
But this one going on just now. Hi, good morning. Welcome to Tobago Updates. Hi, good morning. Welcome to Tobago Updates. Hi, good morning. Welcome to Tobago Updates. Again, go ahead. This is very tight, and I will choke her. And I'm putting on your mic.
And you didn't put on a slingshot.
No, I don't wear
You don't?
Don't take it now.
Huh?
Any one of them. Yellow beard would have been cool with either one. I wouldn't know tongues to be a slingshot. I didn't see it coming. No, I do not fix it. That's really nice. They organize me, I don't have it. Huh? I need to move? Hey, Ma. Morning, babe. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Huh. Thank you, honey. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you, babe. Thank you, Uma. Jibanse, Cassie, pass that tissue for me, please. Thank you, baby. Pass that tissue for me, please. Thank you, baby. No, he Thank asked, would you like me to make a post? And she was like, yes. Huh? Love you too. Bye bye. Thanks. Okay. What I'm saying is that Adana know that she's a public figure, and the sofa will is much worse than that, and they're supposed to be brownie. That is it, and that is all. But that also signals to me that they have as a citizen that there is some kind of personal relation. Because
Nobody would not actually say
Because
anything.
average public. Yeah, and she even said the nice that is, hey, could you do. Because the average Joseph. No. So this no problem. So no. Listen to this, right? And the claim is him. She could just send a message to him and ask him. I don't believe it. Absolutely. He does reply to any and everybody, yeah? He really does. Nobody would not post for any and everybody. So if you probably start to say somebody. He does reply to any and everybody. Try and see what happens.
You should have both and seen that thing.
So my question is he
I still have reading fear.
Is he supposed to say my question is somebody posted last night, well, my man close the outside again. Or what if I close the outside? So my question is he going to
You don't have to do nothing. You actually they just have to sit on.
Yeah, that is what I want to do. Is he going to have two women?
We have no rundown here. We have no rundown.
And I have no, I'm not even seeing my paper clip. I don't know what is going. I don't know what is going with me and paper clip. I don't know. Thank you.
Yo, come on, that good?
Yeah. I have it here.
Yeah.
My hair covering it.
Every day I working on getting curtain shots.
And what happened?
Try now. Lean forward for me.
Check reporter come for me, Judan. Judan, check reporter come for me.
Shake your hands for me.
Sit down, sit down.
I'm hearing you out there.
Just now.
Nothing still? Sorry. Yeah? Where? Yes, yes. Who's it? Talk center? Talk center? No. I'm going to say center. Yeah, he sends up. Alright, cool.
I need to go to the barbers today.
No shave November. You're still in November. Huh?
It's a bit overbearing now.
No.
I believe it's true.
Julian?
The man secretaries already, the man security already talked.
So light blue is fine.
It actually looks white than blue. Yeah.
I realized that yesterday with Joel. So it gives me some more options.
Papa, you have one blue white.
Right, guys.
Look, no, it looks white. Look.
Julian and Rhea.
Yes.
The time is very tight today. It is tight, like what she.
We don't want to hear that.
I find it long.
It is very tight. Yeah, so that's right. You all need to. These times on the left-hand corner, the first box that says time. Yeah. Please need to them. Please, it's very tight today because we have 1, 2, 3 into.
No, you all just need to listen to protocol.
You could tell me?
Hold on. These times are being followed by the director.
Right.
So when they tell you we have 2 more minutes, we have 3 more minutes. In actuality, it is that time. Because we have to stick. So see, it goes all the way up to 8 a.m.
8.
Right.
8 a.m.
Yeah.
I would hope it would go today.
To the seconds.
Time today?
moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning,
Good morning, viewers. It's
Good morning,
7 a.m. and this is Thursday, the 18th of November, 2021. This is the Tobago Updates morning show, and we are coming to you live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. We are indeed we continue to give God thanks. I am Julian Skeet.
And I am Rhea Richardson George, and this is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Good morning to you, Julian. Good morning, Tobago,
good morning.
Trinidad, the Caribbean, those of you viewing us on the live. Good morning, good morning. Julian, I'm missing, listen, I have to go back. I am missing your Julian, that is your good morning, and we need to maintain that good morning.
Yes,
Julian, I am missing your good morning.
I have to ensure that that music is sounding out like we're at an event in the morning here in studio before we get started.
It's a particular tone, it's a particular sound that we seem to be missing this today.
I think it certainly sets the tone, it sets the sets the energy. Something about the song, something about the music, and then sometimes I start to misbehave so much that I have to say, tone it down, Julian, tone it down, tone it down. But really this morning I really want to chat about, I had the opportunity to be a part of a session yesterday, you know, and I always like to highlight outstanding young persons. The Mount Pleasant Credit Union, along with the Financial Literacy Unit for the Division of Finance and the Economy, hosted a session yesterday on youth and money matters. And I really this morning want to extend commendations to the General Manager and the entire team at Mount Pleasant, but more specifically, the young facilitator from the Financial Literacy Unit, Cheryl Thomas.
Wow.
Impressive. This session was geared to target young persons aged 7 to 17, discussing money matters and, you know, financial information and guiding them. And what was so impressive is that the facilitator, Cheryl Thomas, quite interactive, quite engaging, to the extent that the young people literally kept her going with questions because of their interest in her style, the manner in which she presented, and of course she's a young person herself. So that also works for very capable, very competent. So this morning, shout outs to Cheryl Thomas, well done.
So we've got to keep our eyes out for you, Cheryl Thomas. We've got to keep your eyes out, our eyes. Now, Julian, a lot happening in the Tobago space today. It is the 18th of November, 2021. In the news this morning, skeletal remains found in Signal Hill, in some bushes in Signal Hill. And I guess we are yet to, police officials are yet to determine, you know, an identity. Was anyone missing? Did we miss something?
And it's always a kind of challenging situation, especially here in the Tobago space, because it's something difficult for us still.
Yeah, because this is so not a part of our culture.
Yes, correct. It certainly isn't. Also in the news this morning, today is actually officially the first day without the SOE. It came to an end at midnight last night within Trinidad and Tobago, and we are all looking on to see the situation as it is and how things follow through from here. I anticipate naturally we're going to have to pay more close attention to the changes or updates in the regulations as it is.
All right, and also THA Chief Secretary urging the public to rally around Franca Cordner with some recent videos and voice notes that have been circulating throughout social media. He's encouraging the public to keep focus. You know, let's not allow these things to deter us or to derail what she's about. And I mean, statements were made about him, it's so interesting, but then he turns around, he flips the script and has thrown his support behind her.
I'm not even sure what that means, rally around. I find it sounds very much real like a political kind of response, rally around. This is your candidate.
Yes,
you know,
but throwing his support
behind her.
That's it,
the situation has happened. It's either you're not in support of it firmly and you make a statement to that effect, or I just find the term rally around to be very much of a generalization, but we listen to hear if we hear anything further.
Assemblyman Julian.
But not Assemblyman at all. But we would have also heard feedback coming in. In fact, I think he was the first to respond. Assemblyman Fali Augustine, that you mentioned,
And we're talking here big man thing. This is what you call big man thing, and I thought it, you know, I mean, it showed a greater level of integrity in the gentleman himself, you know, by the statements that he made. Do not focus on these things against, you know, mentioning some of what Mr. Dennis had to mention. Do not focus on these things. Yes, it's out there. Yes, it's in the public domain, but you know, let's keep focus.
Yes, certainly. And just before we wrap up this segment in our birthday shout-outs this morning, good morning and happy birthday to Ethne Yearwood. If you are in Tobago and you don't know Ethne Yearwood, something is wrong. Good morning and happy birthday to you, Ethne Yearwood, coming from the Tobago Updates family. And at this point, Rhea, I think we are We don't have enough time for a shout out this morning.
No.
So we'll fit that in lower down in the show.
Definitely. So lots more coming up in the program. So coming up just after the break, Julian, we will be chatting with Mr. Trevor James, who is the PDP candidate for the Scarborough Mount Grace constituency. And we're talking plans to transform Scarborough. Okay, so he'll be coming up just after the break.
All right, good. And we continue in this morning with Coral Sobers, Gatlin Atta Chance of Heavenly Care Home for the Elderly. And we close this morning's discussion with Stacey Herbert, IDA candidate for Palliative Care, Lansome Speyside.
All right.
Viewers, we want you to stick with us, continue to share the life, share the life, share the life.
Just before we go, very quickly here, we want to say thank you to ComDev. Thank you, ComDev. We, for Community Development Week, we want to thank you so much for blessing us, I have to say. Thank you so much for blessing us. Thank you for the tokens. We really appreciate it. So lots of love going out to the management and staff of ComDev. We'll be back.
Whoa! It's the Quartz Black Friday sale. With the best-selling brands, best deals, and best offers all month long. You don't want to miss your chance to save on wow deals. Save on smart TVs, major appliances, furniture, bedroom and dining, with lots more to choose from. Shop today with Quartz Ready Finance and pay nothing for 90 days. Don't miss this Black Friday sales event. Only at Quartz, bringing value home.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning. Good morning, morning,
morning,
good morning,
morning, viewers again, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. We are chatting this morning with Mr. Trevor James, the PDP candidate for Scarborough Mount Grace. Good morning and welcome to you.
Thank you, Ria. I'm happy to be here.
It's good to have you on the program. This is the first time that you're joining us here on Tobago Updates. We trust that it will not be the last. We are talking this morning about plans to transform Scarborough. Now, Mr. James, let's get right into things. I listened to, what would it be, a video that was released quite recently by all of the PDP candidates, and you indicated that, people would know you as an intellect. Yes, you are a James after all. Let me put it out there, you're a James. But one of the things that persons do not know about you is that you are a carpenter. So carpentry seems to be in your background. You taught for many years, I think, in Mount St. George.
For 1 year.
For 1 year. Okay, for not many years, but just for 1 year. Okay.
Yes.
But you made an impact.
Yes, yes.
All right, so let's go ahead.
One of the things that impact my life is the fact that we had no tertiary education institutions in Tobago at the time. So when I left school, I went to Trinidad to learn the business of construction with a brother of mine who was a contractor. And so I spent 5-6 years in Trinidad learning the business of construction before coming back to Tobago to see if I could make myself into a man, as mommy would say. You know? And so I started teaching at the youth camp before I moved on to Works Division.
Okay, well, I'm really happy to hear that. So you have some background there, and I guess that would be part of some of the plans that you would have for your constituency. But let's talk a little bit here about, you know, some of the, you know, what you have in store for Scarborough. In fact, just before we get into that, let me just say something before we get into that. You would have won, you would have entered the last elections. You were a candidate for the last elections, January 2021 elections. You lost. In fact, your vote, the number of votes you attained was 799. Now, you decided to offer yourself elections this time around. Why?
Well, James, you know, we are not failures, and it's an opportunity again to demonstrate to Tobago the capacity of the PDP and my own personal capacity. I think the loss showed me a greenhorn in the race. In the politics, the errors that I made, and maybe the errors that the PDP made, and the difference between the demographics of Tobago East and Tobago West.
Okay.
And Tobago West, we need to offer something different if we are to change hearts and minds in Tobago West. The plans for Scarborough was part of that strategy.
Right.
To offer the people of Tobago West something to vote for, in opposed to something to vote against.
Right.
And it was the first time in the history of politics in Tobago where a political party and a political candidate offered a vision that you could almost touch. And I think this time around, the people are now ready to see Tobago spring out of the doldrums that we are in, and the city of Scarborough will be the project that will bring that to fruition.
All right, so we're getting into it now. Traffic issues in Scarborough, it is a nightmare. If you are a driver, a pedestrian, traffic in Scarborough on any given day. Some years, just a few years ago, it was on a Friday. Friday was the absolute worst. Now it can be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. Saturday and Sunday seem to be your grace days. What are your plans? What are the PDP's plans, Trevor James's plans, to alleviate the stress, the nightmare that is traffic in Scarborough?
Well, before I come to the actual plan for traffic control, I was at Geneva when they got the contract to design the traffic flow in Scarborough. And the gentleman who was in charge of that project came to me and asked me for ideas and refused to take my suggestions because for some reason people from the other island believe that they know how we should run our business in Tobago more than Tobagonians themselves.
Right.
And so what we see in Scarborough now, apparently a right turn in Scarborough is illegal. Every road you go, you can't turn right for some reason or the other. But there's no doubt that more people are buying cars, and the city of Scarborough just does not have enough roads to accommodate the cars. There's a need for a new network in Scarborough. There's a need to create blocks in Scarborough. We need a secondary road between the highway and Carrington Street, Milford Road, and we need different entrances and access into Scarborough. One of the plans that we presented was a connection road from Smithfield all the way out to the highway in the vicinity of Light and Life, and we're within putting a roundabout.
Okay, let's just go to the first image. And then we can discuss from there. So what we're seeing here is an aerial view of Lower Scarborough. This is where we are, just about where we are, the port area. So you are the expert here. You can go ahead and explain to us.
This is what we are seeing is a view of the vision for the Bay of Scarborough.
Right.
the new port will take up almost the entire bay from where we are now down to Orange Hill Junction. So what we've seen as Pier 2 and Pier 3 are in fact in the vicinity of between Smithfield and Orange Hill Junction.
Okay, explain to our viewers where is Pier 1, Pier 2, Pier 3 in relation to where these vessels are.
Pier 1 is that far right.
Far right.
That's the existing pier that we have. Far right, which is close to that curved
pier
structure.
Okay.
Pier 2 is where that big ship is.
Right.
It borders the new museum and the whole terminal area, the main terminal, and Pier 3 is where the last vessel is.
Okay.
So we have the opportunity to at least bring in 3 vessels simultaneously, and maybe 4 if we use both sides of Pier 1.
Okay, as we speak, what buildings are in those areas that you would need to acquire, if any at all?
Well, what we are projecting to do is reclaim a significant portion of the sea in Scarborough in order to build the port that we need. There are a few areas on land which we will most likely have to acquire.
Right.
And the area where the existing car park between the library and Old Port was,
yes,
that dead area, we're going to commandeer that and build a new parkade, a transportation hub. We are going to take over that existing car park behind Scotiabank and Viewport and build a high-rise parkade and connect that with a bridge. We plan to take over where TNTEC is and move TNTEC out of the city. I don't think that there is a need to have TNTEC in the city. And we are going to have 2 high-rise buildings there that will become, that whole area will become the hub with Victor E. Bruce, the center of government services and government offices in the city.
Okay, maybe we can move to the second one at this time. So that is all interesting, and let me just let our viewers know here that Julian is going to be coming up in just a little while, and he's going to be continuing the interview, so you're going to see lots more here of see and hear lots more of Mr. Trevor James. You can continue, and I think there's some other shots.
Right,
here.
so this shot shows the new development of the road from Smithfield all the way out to Light and Life. We are proposing to build a park, student park in the area, where we'll have a lot of trees and will complement Botanic Gardens as it is now.
Right.
And so that students who are going to the school, going to Bishop's, Light and Life, will have that area where they can relax and hopefully have free internet to begin to learn in the afternoon and during lunchtime. So that area is going to be beautified. We're going to have a connection road, a roundabout at the highway, and we are hoping to assist and facilitate the developers who plan to develop on the far side of the highway.
Just before you can go on there, Mr. James, what are we looking at here? Are we seeing a building over by some trees? Would that be the Scarborough Library?
No, that building where the trees are, that's Bishop's High School.
That's Bishop's High School. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So we're talking the removal or the acquiring of some space lower Scarborough.
That's
Would
correct.
Upper Scarborough be affected by this?
The plan we have for Upper Scarborough is that we are going to rebuild the chamber where the THA is now. We're going to take that whole block from Pigott Street to Main Street.
Yes.
Where Royal Bank is.
Yes.
Was First Citizens is, sorry.
First Citizens, right.
First Citizens,
Upper
and we're going to
Scarborough.
make that whole area into the THA chamber, the Civic Center, the new library that houses all the history of Tobago.
Yes.
Will be in that location.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Mr. James. We're going to leave it here with you for this time. Viewers, coming up next, we continue on with Julian and Mr. James as we continue the discussion on the plans to transform Scarborough. Stay tuned.
morning, good morning, morning. Put a smile on your
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers. It's 7:21 a.m. and in this segment we continue the conversation with Trevor James, PDP candidate for Scarborough, Mongrace. So as we continue the discussions this morning looking at the plans for Scarborough, you know, we want to put it into perspective because interesting enough when we just got to that second shot and people might have been estimating that's where perhaps the libraries and those green trees are, the botanical gardens. So if you could just pull back up that shot, I just want you to give us a sense of in the earlier shot where we started the discussions right in terms of this area. Those orange buildings we're seeing near the trees there, what does that currently represent on the right-hand side?
The furthest pair of orange buildings, that's the new high-rise government office complex. It is in the location where TNTech currently is.
Okay, all right. So that basically is the TNTech area there. So that's connecting us back to the highway.
Back to the highway. The grey building in front of it, that's Victor E. Bruce.
Right.
And the octagon-looking building, that's the library.
All right, excellent. So that gives us a greater perspective. Yes. So where we are seeing...
the orange buildings are the additions to the city.
All right. And where we're seeing the current port area now by the second vessel there, that's not the existing port?
No, the existing port is where those two small crafts are on the far right.
Okay. So that's closer to, that's the right-hand side of the first vessel that we're seeing there?
That's the right-hand side of the first vessel. We are now going to be able to have two of these fast ferries dock simultaneously because we're going to extend the port into that area that now where they have those containers opening and so on. So the fishermen are going to take up that area to the far right of that, and we're going to enhance that area and allow for ice storage, gas station, that kind of stuff. So fishermen no longer have to travel to Nip Deck to get ice and all of that.
So an initiative or a project like this naturally will cost us a hefty sum. I note you mentioned the different section or the different phases. How many is it in total?
We hope to produce to complete the project in 3 phases. The first phase, of course, will be where the main terminal is, because there is a need to take up from the seabed all the assets we have that has been left there. And one of the reasons we can't take them up is because we have nowhere to house them. So the new museum, that part of the reclamation will be done first. And then we will proceed from Miss V side, from Orange Hill side, up into the main port.
All right. So we're going to take an image now looking at the old port of Scarborough in terms of the plan as is. So go on, give us a little sense of this with regards to the old terminal and Pier 3.
All right. So this is actually Pier 1, but the
Pier
old
1,
port is where the two crafts are now. So if you could imagine that we have reclaimed the whole area from, what's that street? Customs Street. And we moved that section slightly to the left. And so we are now having 2 vessels dock simultaneously, which we can't have now. So imagine that we have international and Caribbean connectivity, and we can now be moving people in and out of Tobago from various destinations. And so we have 2 vessels docking simultaneously.
To facilitate that.
Yes, the area where the black line curves around out into the breakwater, that's going to be the new fishing terminal, and that area will now house new ice storage, new gas stations. We're going to fix that slope that borders Castries Street down to the East Dry River, down to Crooks River,
right,
and beautify that area as well, so that the view of Scarborough is more appealing and more aesthetically pleasing to the visitor.
All right. And we continue on to the Central Terminal and Pier 2.
Central Terminal is in fact the main terminal building will be there, the museum will be there. This is really the international hub for the international visitors from cruise ships. Everything that has to do with international connectivity happens in this area. Pier 2 and Pier 3 happens and is housed and managed from the terminal in that area. It's going to be a massive, beautiful, imagine the museum is there and all the cannons that are still preserved can be there, and the history of Tobago in terms of the number of times we've changed hands could be told based on the age of the items we take up from the seabed. It can be a wonderful tourist experience just having this there.
Excellent. So we're getting a very good picture. Now, this is an election season.
Indeed.
We're seeing the plans that have been presented.
Yes.
What can we expect realistically should the PDP be successful within the first term in office?
Well,
and granted you receive some kind of funding, knowing what we generally would receive for the budget.
Well, Julian, we have to get to the point in Tobago where we accept that we have to build this thing ourselves. We have to build this thing ourselves. We cannot only depend on the budget allocation from Trinidad. Those in Trinidad are going to always continue to stymie our plans and prevent us from being who we ought to be. Remember that this struggle is a struggle about economics. Today, and for the last 100 years, the economy of Tobago has been controlled from Trinidad, and only we could change that. We could change that. So it doesn't matter if they give us $300 million, we are going to find a way within law or outside the law if necessary to have international contractors come in and build what we want for Tobago, because it's only through projects like these that the economy of Tobago can grow, that we can bring more people into the island, that our diaspora can return. It's only when they have opportunities in Tobago that our population will grow. And our population needs to grow if we are to have the demand that will fuel an economy.
What kind of estimated costs are we looking at?
We've worked out the cost because the designs are incomplete, and as a project person, we don't want to get into putting cost to incomplete designs. We know people who do that. But we estimate that the design will be completed within the first year, and at that point we would have a clear idea of how we will phase the project and how we will finance it.
So it's not necessarily that the full project will be able to be delivered within the first term in office?
We projecting to deliver the project within 5 years.
Within 5 years, all right.
Yes.
Very, very interesting, sir. And you know that's something we'll be looking at and holding.
Indeed.
Holding you to, and by extension the PDP, should you be successful.
If we go beyond 5 years, then the project no longer makes sense.
Okay.
Because the economy of Tobago needs this kind of a thing in order for us to move from where we are to where we want to be. So a long drawn-out project. You know, we have projects in Tobago that start 2012. Land development projects that still can't be finished today under those who are in office now.
Yes. So one of the things we also want to touch on very quickly, beyond this extensive plans for Scarborough, very recently we would have heard your voice coming out also on the topic of education.
Yes.
Education within the Tobago space, and in particular within Scarborough, Codler Hall, I'm back in the Scarborough, Codler Hall era, but within Scarborough, Mongrace, there's the natural capture, obviously, of schools within that space that fall within the electoral district, reaching a wide cross-section of our Tobago population. And a little thing more that persons may not know, the carpenter also has 2 daughters who are scholarship winners. Good morning to Safia and Trevira. And similarly as well within the household, an educator who is a principal and has been through the system. So it's kind of understood. You might have to tell us the secret a little bit. But how do you transition that kind of success you've been able to achieve in the perspective of education within the family to benefit the wider cross-section of your electoral district?
Julian, when we look at the data that's available to us, from SEA results, from CSEC results, it is clear that an intervention is required at the primary school level. Across Tobago, approximately 50% of the students fail the SEA, meaning they get below 50%. Now, you can't get good performance at CSEC if that continues. And so there's an intervention that must be had, that must be made at the primary level. Something is happening between birth and 11 years that prevents students from performing to their best ability. And so I am proposing for Scarborough, for the 3 schools in the catchment of Scarborough, Mount Grace, that listen, we will work with the principals, with the parents to identify 15 students from each school. And my team and I, we would write a personal development plan for those 15 students as a pilot project from standard 3 to see how we can collect the data on how the performance have been going and how we can move those students forward. And hopefully we would have a model of how we can extend that to the wider school population and maybe to all the schools in Tobago. Because, you know, we came from poor families. My siblings had to walk from Bell Garden to Ebenezer in 10 chains to go to school. My father was somebody who picked up garbage for a living, another shoemaker. Yes. We came from poor families, and poverty does not equate poor performance in education. And so, as Tobagonians, we have to design an education system that reaches the majority and not only favors the few like my children who perform at a high level, because there'll always be high performers in any bell curve.
All right, so we're running out of time there, but thank you very much to Trevor Dames, the PDP candidate for Scarborough, Mount Grace, speaking to the issues this morning in relation to the transformation of Scarborough and our education system here in the Tobago space. We might just have an opportunity to see Trevor James back on set with us to continue the discussions during this political season. Folks, in this next segment, we go to the good stuff. And this morning, in chatting about the good stuff, we wish to say congratulations to Isaiah Jackson on earning his CompTIA SCYSE Plus certification. Isaiah is a rarity in Trinidad and Tobago because that there might not be anyone else with this certification in the country. He adds this to other CompTIA certifications, that's CompTIA A+, CompTIA Network Plus, CompTIA Healthcare IT Technician, and CompTIA IT Fundamentals. Isaiah works at the Tobago Regional Health Authority, who we have touted, and the persons have touted in the past as a CompTIA hotspot, so clearly that's encouraged at the TRHA. The IT team leader has encouraged them to earn certifications. Many have multiple certifications, and Isaiah's next step is CompTIA Server Plus. Well done to Isaiah Jackson this morning in our Good Stuff segment. And this is just a reminder, if you know of anyone that you would like to feature on the Good Stuff, you can email us at info@tobagoupdates.com or contact us at 284-6597. Viewers, as we prepare to go to a break, we remind you to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Morning, morning, good morning, morning. Put a smile on your
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Whoa! It's the Quartz Black Friday sale. With the best-selling brands, best deals, and best offers all month long. You don't want to miss your chance to save on wow deals. Save on smart TVs, major appliances, furniture, bedroom and dining, with lots more to choose from. Shop today with Quartz Ready Finance and pay nothing for 90 days. Don't miss this Black Friday sales event. Only at Quartz, bringing value home.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Morning viewers again, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show. And we are talking this morning about protecting our seniors. Here to chat with us are members of the Heavenly Care Home for the Elderly. To chat with us, we've got the PRO, Mrs. Garthlin Arthur Chance. Along with her this morning, the face of the home, the General Manager, Miss Coriel Sobers. Ladies, good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's good to have you now. Coriel, we're going to be chatting with Coriel a little bit later on in the during the interview. But for now, we're chatting with Mrs. Garthlin Arthur Chance. Now, Mrs. Chance, you are the PRO. Tell us a little give us some idea about the home. Tell us about the home itself and your role and function.
Okay, the name of the home, I can't remember if you said it. And yes. Good morning, Ria. It's nice to be on set with you.
It's good to have
you. Again, you were always one of my favorites.
Thank you.
The home is Heavenly Care Home for the Elderly. It is managed by a very young person that I'm sure they will reach a little later on this morning. It came out of the night care home that was located at Canaan. After the manager of that home did it for a while and realized that she couldn't do it anymore because of health reasons, she was able to turn it over to her sister and her niece, who had been there with her from the initiation of the home at Canaan. So they had to move out from the area, and now they are at what we used to refer to long ago as Tobago Services.
Right.
It's Massimoto's, just at that corner there up at Rockley Vale.
Right.
Corel is a fairly young person, and she has this desire for to help the elderly.
Okay.
And I am also somebody who loves the elderly. So we connected because I don't know if I should mention that I am her pastor.
Okay.
So we connected, and I have decided to lend support as a member of the board. Okay. So I am one of the voices of the Heavenly Care Home for the Aged.
All right, so let's bring Coriel into the conversation at this time. She is the general manager. Again, viewers, we said the name of the home is the Heavenly Care Home for the Elderly. So Coriel, good morning and welcome to our program.
Hi, pleasant good morning.
Well, it's good to have you with us. Coriel, you are a young person, as Pastor Garthlin indicated a little while ago. What made you decide to get involved with the elderly, particularly in your community?
I know that persons viewing now will say it's strange or it's peculiar that a young person as myself has decided to enter into this type of service, but it started from a very tender age where I cared for my grandmother as she was diagnosed with cancer at the age of 7, and from there taking care of my grandmother, which I love and hold dearly to my heart, I moved forward to helping my aunt at the night care home of the age, as our PRO just said. And from there, I used to go around, help the elderly, chat with them, have different conversation with them. At one point in time, I had like a second grandmother at that home. Right, Miss V, she always used to, if she used to stick like little $5 in my pocket and so forth, right? So I have a great passion for the elderly. I love to see them happy. I love to see them enjoyable. I love to see them comfortable, right? And from there, working there, I left and I went to university. And when I came back from university, I decided to go back to Nike to dedicate my service. And from there, my aunt decided that she couldn't have managed to keep the home afloat, so she decided to pass it on to me. So we are now located in Rockleyville, right? And the elderly there, they really love the new atmosphere that they are in. I oftentimes try to create a safe, loving, heart-warmed environment for the elderly, and not just within my community, but the aim and the mission is to create a safe space for elderly throughout Tobago. Because we know that the elderly, they have contributed tremendously to our society, right, through the functions of Tobago. And by right, it is for us as a young person to partner with even other persons to try to help them as they would have seen about us. We too can turn to see about them.
All right, so it's about giving back. And we want to applaud you this morning. A young woman, you know, in the service of taking care of the elderly. That is no easy feat. It's certainly no easy feat. All right, so as we continue talking this morning, we've got, I know we've got some pictures, not this picture particularly, but we've got some pictures coming up showcasing some of what happens, some of what has been happening at the home, some of the activities at the home. All right, so we continue chatting this morning with Pastor Gatlin. Now, Pastor Gatlin, the turnover is fairly new. The move in terms of location, fairly new. Give us an idea of some of the activities that are held at the home and some of the plans.
Okay. Let me go back a little. I forgot to mention that at Nike, I was one who would go to the home every week with my mother, who was who was in her 80s at the time. I would go there to do instruction, sing, pray, you know, talk to them and that kind of thing. Remind me of your question, Rhea.
Okay, some of the plans, some of the activities
All
that
right.
you had and some of the plans.
So that is one of them. We make sure that they are connected to their God. So we have religious instruction. I don't like the word religion, but most of the viewers will be familiar with the term religious instruction. We have a doctor who goes to the home. He is affiliated to the home. There's a team, like a multidisciplinary team, a medical team. So we have available manicure, pedicure. Well, there's a nurse who is there, I think it's 3 times per week. And there's a big space. If you were familiar with the compound where the home is held, there is a big space. So there is availability of space for agriculture. That's one of the areas that they are going to get into, so that those who are able to, those that are mobile, and even those that are on the wheelchair, because many of these persons are aged people and they are accustomed to planting their own thing, and you want them to feel as if they still can contribute to society, because the elderly always feel, and some people feel that the elderly, they must be packed up. No, we want them to be in a home. They must be. They are in a home setting. You know, they play games. The workers at the home are very friendly. So they have this relationship as if they are with their children. Because most of the persons at the home are young persons. So these are some of the the things that they have there. And Christmas is coming. You know, so we want them to have a sense of the Christmas season. Excuse me. A sense of the Christmas season. So long ago we used to, I'm a country girl, so we know about caroling. So we want to bring that back. to that environment. They would have done things before, but because of the COVID season and the restrictions that are placed upon persons, especially entering a home, because these will be people who would have a number of comorbidities.
Right.
So because the compound is a large compound, we have planned an evening of caroling. So they will stay inside, and the compound is big, so we're not really, persons will be, of course, spaced,
right?
You know, and we will have that, and we are planning to have a cookout, you know, where persons will just come and collect,
right?
Because we have to raise funds. This is not an ordinary home; it's a community home.
Yes.
And if the persons who are there, the residents and their family members who are, you know, contributing to their lives at this time, if they were to have a conversation with you, you will realize that it's not very expensive, you know. So we have to do things in order to assist in what is needed for the general welfare of the residents.
Give us we need to get from you in just a little while here a sense of what or how the public can get involved, how the public can partner with you and support the home. But let me just go over to Korea very quickly here. Now, Korea, give us some feedback here on, you know, in terms of the staff at the Heavenly Care. Now, I heard Pastor Garten mention a while ago that they're mainly young persons.
Yes.
Give us an idea, and we can probably run some pictures. We've got some images there, even as we continue to chat. So tell us about the staff.
Well, the staff, as she said, like the staff at Heavenly Care is most like a partnership or a relationship, I should say, preferably, where they partner together, as they may give like little life advice to the staff, and the staff could throw in a little bit of what we have going on in our generation, because you know there's a gap between their generation and our generation. So we usually try to partner with them, and they have like a friendly relationship. They chat sometimes, they sit. At a point last week, I saw one of them took a selfie with one of them, and she was laughing at stuff. So we have a great relationship between the staff and the residents, because I tried my utmost best to ensure that the residents, they are comfortable, that they are happy, and they are also involved in what is going on outside of the home. They even know about COVID when the SOE lifted. They know all of those things.
So you keep them informed and up to date with what's going on.
Yeah.
All right. So we're really happy. I'm really happy to hear that, and I have to applaud the fact that you refer to them as residents and not patients.
Yes.
They are the residents of the home, and I think, you know, that gives or suggests another level of integrity. You know,
a sense of homeliness.
Yes.
That's right.
So it's a home away from home.
Definitely. So Pastor Garten, as we're wrapping up here, tell us how the public can partner with the Heavenly Care Home for the Elderly.
Okay, as I said, it's a community home. We are concerned about making sure that the general welfare of the elderly is reached, is realized. We don't want it to be a situation where they feel like, okay, I'm old, so I can no longer contribute.
Yes.
So even if they don't have a big sum of money, they are allowed to be at the home. So they can contribute by, or they eat every day. These people eat. My mother at 90, she used to eat, you know. So they like a lot of vegetables. So if there are persons around who have, you know, they could contribute, because you say you're investing in your old age. It's a cycle. We too will become old, you know, and it's a good thing. Toiletries, these are things that they use all the time. You know, Pampers and soaps and these things.
Sanitizers and no more than ever.
Especially now, water, you know, these are things that they use all the time. So if there are persons who would be willing to contribute, I urge you, contribute towards the life of the elderly, because we will be investing in all old age.
That's
you know, whatever they can contribute, whether it be there are persons who do like poultry, rearing, meats, whatever, they can contribute.
Fish
anything.
from Charlottesville. Let me
Fish, yes, from Speyside and Charlottesville.
Thank you so much. So from Charlottesville to Crown Point, you know, every gift is welcome. Every gift will be appreciated at the home. And how can persons contact you very quickly here? Contact number for the home.
Corel, could you give us that number, please?
Over to you. Coriel.
So you can contact us at 277-9595. I will repeat the number, 277-9595. You could also email us at heavenlycarehomefortheelderly@gmail.com, and you could also check out our Facebook page at Heavenly Care Home for the Elderly and our Instagram page at heavenlycarehome_elderly.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for chatting with us there. And we just chatted, viewers, with Coriel Sobers, the General Manager, and Mrs. Garthlin Arthur Chance, the PRO of the Heavenly Care Home for the Elderly. Viewers, at this time we go right into our This Day in History with Devon Adana, and when we come back, Julian is going to be on set with us as he chats with Stacey Herbert, the IDA candidate for Palliative Lands for Me and Speyside. Share the live, share the live, share the live.
Did you know that on this day, November 18, 1990, Trinidad and Tobago would meet their football arch rivals 1 year after their 1989 defeat? According to the Tobago newspaper, 29 years ago today, Dwight York and the Trinidad and Tobago national team would again have to face USA in a friendly at the National Stadium. Tobagonian soccer ace Dwight York arrived in Trinidad on November 16 that year, having been released from Aston Villa for the period November 15 to 24, 1990. York's release was secured on the stipulation that he be insured. That stipulation was met by Tim Key Agency of American Life and General Insurance Company. The friendly was part of a triangular series at the National Stadium with the Soviet Union joining TNT and the USA. The match between Trinidad and Tobago and the USA, which kicked off at 3:30 p.m. on this day, ended in a goalless draw. My name is Devon Adana. This has been This Day in Tobago History. Back to you.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Whoa! It's the Quartz Black Friday sale. With the best-selling brands, best deals, and best offers all month long. You don't want to miss your chance to save on wow deals. Save on smart TVs, major appliances, furniture, bedroom and dining, with lots more to choose from. Shop today with Quartz Ready Finance and pay nothing for 90 days. Don't miss this Black Friday sales event. Only at Quartz, bringing value home.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning.
Good morning. This is the Tobago Updates morning show coming to you live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. In this segment, we are in conversation with Stacey Herbert, the IDA candidate for Palliative Lands for Me, Speyside. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Julian.
Yes, and I know I could call out to you, morning.
Yes, I like this song bad.
Excellent. One of the things we want to start off with this morning is a lot of persons have said, I'm hearing the name Stacey Herbert. Who is Stacey Herbert? Give us a little sense of who is Stacey Herbert?
Stacey Herbert is so difficult to describe. Stacey Herbert. I I'm an agro-processor, a winemaker. I actually teach winemaking, local winemaking to international standard. I've been doing that in community development for the past probably about 6 years or so, for a while. So I've taught quite a number of Tobagonians how to do this. In addition to that, I am a member of the Paltavia Village Council. I've been there since 2012. I've been so many different things. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a business owner. I live at Paltavia, but originally from Canaan. I've so many different things about Stacey. It's kind of difficult to pinpoint one thing.
All right, so therefore you are no newcomer in this space, so to speak,
Definitely
involved
not.
within your community. So let's start from there in looking particularly at Tobago political matters at this time.
Yes.
What was your inspiration to offer yourself to now enter the realm at this level, seeking this level of representation?
Well, a number of different things. First, it was spiritually guided, right? I was not thinking in this direction at all. I was not, honestly. And when I got that call, I resisted. Honestly, I resisted. I tried to pass it on to somebody else, and that didn't work. I ended up right in the same position, just like what happened with Jonah anyway.
Yes.
You know? And when I started thinking about it, I went into my community and I asked for counsel. You know, I spoke with different people in the community and I asked them, what do you think? You know, should I do this? Right? Because if I'm going to do this, then it's for the people. I've lived in Paltavia since 2008, and the people of Paltavia, from Castara right to Paltavia to Lansome, have inspired my life so much within that time. I feel like if it would be wicked and extremely evil to not get involved and do something to help these communities that has helped me, you know. So that's why my business, my wine business, is a product of Tobago Blue Food Festival, right? Which would have been that's Lansome Festival. You understand? I have a business because of Lansome people.
Correct.
You understand? I graduated UE because of these people, because living in a rural community you have transportation issues, and these people brought me home some strange hours in the night, you understand, because classes finished late, you know, and I would get a drop sometimes to Castara, and then from Castara to Paltavia. Sometimes the same person who brought me to Castara, who lived Castara, end up coming back and carry me home to Paltavia, pass their home and carry me Paltavia, you understand? So I'm so grateful to these people.
And I think that's always a plus, because it's a good message and a signal that we get when you naturally interact with persons throughout Tobago, yes, but those stories even more so become very real, you know, in these areas that are far east and far north in terms of treating with the transportational challenges on the island. So one of the other areas that I'd like to go to, as somebody rooted within the electoral district, particularly on the north side, what would you identify as one of the major challenges you see yourself working towards in terms of seeking to address as the candidate for the IDA for the area?
Okay, so in doing this, I would have been walking the ground, talking to different people to find out what they wanted focused on, because it doesn't make sense that I go in there and I go in there with my own agenda, right? So I had to talk with the people first to find out what they wanted. I found that quite a lot of young people, especially like in the Lansome area, I'm speaking directly to now, that they have been very educated. They've gone to school, they get their subjects and that kind of thing. Some of them went on to do MIC and that kind of stuff. And now they're in a place where they're not employed, they're struggling. And the thing about it is not that they're looking for a government job, because they particularly told me that they know the THA cannot hire everybody, right? But they want to start businesses with these things. There's one guy, he has 11 subjects, and he went on to do air conditioning, refrigeration, and welding. And he wants to start a business, and he looking for funding to purchase his equipment, right? There's another guy who did auto mechanics, and he wanted to start something too. And this is what I've been finding with the young people. In addition to sporting facilities, because of the location of Lansome, there needs to be, and there are a lot of young people in Lansome, they need sporting facilities, they need a field that they could run about and play, you understand? And they need these things. So these are things that I would like to focus on, particularly in that area, in addition to the Paltavere area, because in Paltavere, I would have seen children who would have grown up from childhood within the time that I've been living there and had so many dreams. One girl, she told me some years ago she wanted to do underwater welding, right? And she's she's an adult now, she's past 18 years of age, and she has not been able to realize this dream, you understand? So for me, there needs to be a focus on what happens after secondary school. Shakrim, who is very excellent at drawing, you understand? And he wants to do something else, and now he's home and there's nothing for him to do, you know. So this is the mandate that I want to focus on. These children, these young adults who really want to do something with their lives and have not been given the opportunity to do so. And the span of your electoral district is probably the largest geographically. Yes. Within the Tobago space. Yes. Therefore, going beyond, so we've spoken to the north side. What are some of the plans looking at Charlottesville, Speyside, and I think your district also captures the early part of Delaford? Yes. And I've found some commonalities in those areas too. In Charlottesville, that same thing that I was talking about as regards businesses, people that want to do businesses, because the thing about rural communities, it's very difficult getting to Scarborough every day to work, right? So they're very aware that building their community is the way to go forward, right? They want to start businesses in their communities and in that way build it, instead of you have this migration happening, you understand? So that is a big part of Charlottesville issue also. With Speyside, they want some beautification, the architectural look of the place. It's very dilapidated. They want some improvements in that. They want improvements in the community centers. They want the community center to be handed back to the people rather than be managed by community development. These are things that I would have heard. And those are the things that I want to address, because for me, as I said, it does not make sense that I go into a thing and push my own agenda, which is why I needed to talk to these people to find out what they wanted. You understand? So making sure that you're out there on the ground. Yes, yes. We're just about winding down in terms of time. Yes. You are running for an electoral district where there is the chief secretary candidate in the person of the PDP representative. Yes. There is also the youngest candidate offering herself in the person of the PNM representative. Okay. What do you say to the people of Paltavere, Lansome and Speyside as to why they should select Stacey Herbert over the other two? Well, I would say this is your chance to speak to your electoral district and Tobago. Yes. Within 30 seconds. Okay, so for me, my direction would be, listen, I want to do this thing for you, right? I am not doing this for me. It was not my intention to do it, right? It would not have been something that I would have thought about doing. But I'm very genuine in my offering, right? Tell me what you want and send me. That's just it. Tell me what you want and send me. I'm emotional about it because. Go ahead. I see what goes on. Yes. I see what goes on. Yeah. So viewers, we definitely have it coming to us there from the IDA candidate for Paltavere, Lansome and Speyside, Stacey Herbert, indicating to you clearly as the IDA candidate, tell me what you want and send me and I will do it for you. Those are the words from Stacey Herbert, the IDA candidate. Thank you very much for joining us here this morning on the Tobago Updates morning show. We want to remind our viewers that our sponsors coming here for the Tobago Updates morning show. We want to thank our sponsors, Courts, Port Mall in Scarborough,
Here Sanctuary, and Caroline Birchwood James. Thank you so much to all our sponsors, and to remind you that you can connect with us for the good stuff and to send any additional information at info@tobagoupdates.com. That's info@tobagoupdates.com. And just as we wrap this morning segment, we want to shout out to all our viewers online. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. And in particular, yes, to one of our long-standing viewers since we have come here. Yes, Ria Orr, shout out to you. And Ria Orr, as one of our viewers, is also sending birthday greetings to her brother this morning, Ansel Orr. So Ansel Orr, if you're tuned in this morning, we are saying happy birthday to you from Ria Orr and the Tobago Updates family. Viewers, we look forward to you joining us for an exciting show tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday. We continue to thank you for the love and support here from the Tobago Updates morning show. Have a great day, folks. Bye-bye.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.